Welcome to my Conscious Podcast. I'm Jessica Klingsborg, and this is a podcast where we dive into our inner worlds and the incredible skills hidden inside us. It is a space for honest and meaningful conversations where our guests share their stories and insights from their life experiences and journeys of self-discovery. In this episode, you will meet Myriam Ben Farhat, whose journey is one of transformation. From a successful lawyer and entrepreneur in Tunisia to redefining leadership and empowerment. After moving to Barcelona, a personal crisis led her to rediscover herself through art. Then, in 2020, the pandemic left her at crossroads, forcing her to rebuild her life and career from the ground up. What seemed like a breakdown became her breakthrough. She joined chess.com, where she quickly rose to leadership, revolutionizing company culture through coaching, inclusivity, and people-centered growth. A passionate advocate for authentic leadership, Myriam empowers individuals, especially women in tech, to break limiting beliefs, recognize their strengths, and step into their full potential. Tune in to hear Myriam's inspiring journey, how she turned personal crisis into empowerment, and how she is now shaping the future of leadership through authenticity and reinvention. So, welcome to the Conscious Podcast. Here we explore the deep inner shifts that redefine success, leadership, and personal growth. And what if your biggest breakdown turned out to be your greatest breakthrough? What if the moment you thought you lost everything was actually the beginning of something extraordinary? Today, we are diving into a story of resilience, reinvention, and radical transformation. My guest, Myriam Ben Farhat, went from being a powerhouse entrepreneur and lawyer to rebuilding her life and redefining success, all while championing women in leadership. So welcome to an episode that will inspire you to step into your power. I'm so honored to have you here today, Myriam. How would you describe your energy?
Thank you, Jessica. I am super honored to be here. I was really longing for this moment and having this conversation with you. So
yes,
energy
we've had it coming up for a long time.
I know it was building up. So no, energy is great, and I feel super inspired. You inspire me too. So for me, it's really a fun moment to spend together.
Oh, it's so regenerative, and we actually met on a women's conference. Is it 1.5 years ago? We were both speakers, and that's when I first heard your story. That really captivated all of us. And it's a story of resilience and reinvention. And there was this big personal shift for you. And before that shift, you were a lawyer, a successful entrepreneur running your own business in Tunisia. Can you tell us, who was that, Myriam, before we jump into the updated version?
Oh my God. I feel I had I don't know how many lives already, probably the color of my hair indicates that too. But who was that, Myriam? We are raised as when we are girls, we are raised to fit in a certain role model, to what success is okay. At least for us in my country, I come from Tunisia, so it's North Africa, so it's a Muslim country. I would say not really conservative, but quite open, especially for women. We are very advanced in that. So we study, and we have a very high level of studies for women. So we learn to be quite performers, but not too much, also to not shadow your husband, the future husband, or to find a husband. It's very funny. So who I was, I studied law and I became a lawyer. It's my value of fairness that led me there. And entrepreneur with my ex-husband, he was building his shipping business, and I was really a huge support for him from the legal side, but not only, also a lot with actually coaching, mentoring about the leadership, the team, without knowing exactly that was the word. We owned a restaurant also together, and it was a quite famous one. In total, we had more than 130 employees between both. And I had also my own law firm for like investors mainly. That was like mainly what I was doing, tax optimization and real estate and pure corporate law.
Wow.
So yeah, busy woman. I love working, as you see.
And you were also a mother of two kids,
hmm
not
Two
to
girls.
forget.
Yeah, two girls. When I had my girls, like I had to start adapting also a bit my way of life, because with the restaurant it was like also till late nights, and
Mm.
this also started shifting a bit and being more to be present for my kids. It was also something super important for me, and the fact to be like also flexible in your time, even though you're not an employee that you had to like 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or whatever the time. You have this freedom to manage your schedule and make time for I wouldn't say I was great at doing it, but I'm pretty proud today. I'm getting there. and
Well,
and teaching
you
even people on how like to schedule and make a great agenda. And yeah.
I've seen your agenda. It's quite
Yeah,
impressive.
it's about organization.
Yeah, you're quite a role model in that. But I mean, you were an entrepreneur, so maybe it's easy to enter in the intrapreneur mode to create
Yeah.
this freedom under basically responsibility and results,
Yeah,
working in a
definitely.
big company. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's always connected. So yeah, I have been a lawyer. I have been an entrepreneur. I have been like, after reflecting back, what has been always, the same mission, but I think we discussed that the other day, but through different mediums. This is how
Mm.
I would say. So it has been always like, bringing light and to people, showing them their strength, bringing this, make them feel special. So the
Yeah.
restaurant wasn't really coaching, but make them feel special was super aligned with that, and it made me
Yeah.
really happy. So yeah, that was until 2017, where we finally decided by choice to move to Barcelona for a better life, actually, for better life for our daughters, and
That was a big
opening
step.
more doors.
Mm.
Huge one. Moving at that age, it's not like you when you move when you're 18, going to study and all of that. Moving, having already everything settled, a very good social position, like businesses who are working pretty well. You build all a full life there. All the check the box for success. We
Yeah.
had it, and it was okay. What then? Next step, maybe let's move to Europe. And we were often between Paris and Tunis. Actually,
Mm.
my clients were also a lot of European. And yeah, Barcelona was a choice of heart, and I think we'll get there. It's very aligned with the conscious leadership. Why
Yes.
Barcelona? It wasn't the easy choice. I didn't speak Spanish. I didn't, like we had our own place
True.
already in Paris. And yeah, it's again about really being conscious of what kind of life we want and how.
Exactly. And then came the pandemic, and there was a big shift for you.
Actually, the big shift wasn't really the pandemic, but it was my divorce.
Okay. But it
So when I
happened
moved here,
in that time.
all together,
Yeah.
like right before the pandemic, it was divorce. So becoming single mom in a country that where I don't have my support system yet, and where I don't speak really the language properly, and when I wasn't allowed to work. So when I moved here for paper reasons, I had to be a student
Mm.
for like, so I stopped being anything I was, and becoming a
Yeah.
student was already a big challenge. Just it was a huge shift. And yeah, so I studied contemporary art when I moved here, starting in September 2017.
Mm.
And that same year, like divorce and all like, it was the earthquake in my life. Everything was falling apart. All the things I built so far was
Mm.
really falling apart.
And how do you think the thing that you did with the contemporary art helped you through this process,
I'll
touching your
tell you a
inner
story.
dimension? Yeah.
You will laugh. When I entered the school, and like the first times, and I was like, this is not perfect. Why it's not like that? It should be like this. All my I want things perfect and beautiful, and we should. And this is the huge journey, like from the aesthetic outside, that I started actually learning about myself, and how we are all imperfect, and how our imperfection is like makes us unique.
Mm.
So really, it was a huge challenge for me, because like I was fully out of my comfort zone, and I had amazing teachers which are like quite famous artists in the place.
I
Here,
see. Mm.
yeah, and they really challenged me with that, and it was a beautiful journey, not an easy one for sure. And so yeah, I learned about really our uniqueness and our imperfection. This is what today I'm fighting for, actually, like, and
Yeah.
helping people to see this, what they feel imperfect about is what they make them special. And
Yeah.
let's work on that. And this is could be a superpower,
Yes.
so yeah, that was a bit the journey. Also, another big discovery during my studies. um, I remember, like, one of my first piece of art I did, like, I was doing, like, this, for example, this glove. I don't know if you see it. The
Yes.
Cinderella glove. It's all with Swarovski. It's pink. All this theme. And the director of the school, during the exams, she was telling me, "Okay, so you are a feminist." And we're like, "No, I'm not."
In terms, from what point of view? Yeah.
No, so for me, feminist, all those like angry women who are like
Yes.
half naked,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
and
is, yeah, the prejudice.
exactly, exactly. And I started also different, like, here, discovering a big part of myself, which was like this really independent woman
Hmm.
who was here but not here, hidden somehow,
Hmm.
because of the role what the society has predicted for us, and to be like, the wife, the mom, before everything. And this is how, like, you are successful if you succeed your family, if your kids are perfect. And again, we go to that perfection, and that mold. and
Yes.
um, and yeah, so really the art studies shaped a big part of who I am today. It
Yeah.
was a huge discovery of a part who was hidden in me, who was like here, very the authentic me, that was so much shaped by the society, by the expectations of others, of our parents, of our families, of our environment. That
Absolutely.
we put on there, and we try to fit, because we want the best, so yeah.
Yes.
uh, that was the art
Yes,
shift
that has
in
followed you ever since, because when you do reach that inner dimension and the depth, you have it. I mean, that is a
oh
point
yeah.
of no return. And but how did it feel in those days when you had to sit down and write your first resume? You've never asked
Oh
for
my
a
god.
job. I mean, for all the women out there that is facing difficulties and maybe they're scared. I
Oh,
mean, how
you know,
scared were you on a 1 to 10 scale?
yeah, I will tell you, there is one moment, I would like, really, one moment. So, going through that divorce, and I had no work permit. I wasn't even allowed, like, for a while, to work. And being a single mom, I had some savings, but even some of my owning, I wasn't, like, for different reasons. It was taken of me, and I was also under a lot of pressure, like, lawyers and all of that. I have been arrested for kidnapping my own kids. I have been
Really?
yeah. So, like, the mental pressure and the anxiety is, like, reached stages that I could never imagine. Like I was thinking every time something happens, okay, this is the maximum. Nothing can happen more. Like this is the worst. And worst was coming, and worst was coming. And one day, really, I really, like, I sold my things. I really tried everything. Like I had nothing left. When I say my kids were exposed from school, I had really nothing left. Like I remember that day, it was October 2020, and I had like 683 euros on my bank account, and their school that they exposed them were sending me lawyers that they will seize my account. And I was like, I remember that moment. I had the kids in bed, and I was like on the floor reading that email, and I was like looking at my kids, and I was like, that's it. That's it. I just wanted to end, and that's it. I had few seconds of like, I just want us to disappear. And so how desperate I was, like, I couldn't see anything. I didn't see. That's it. That's the end. And the magic happened at that time, because when I think you lose everything, you have nothing to lose, to still try. And okay, now, okay, I was ready to find a job as a housekeeper. I was ready to do anything. Okay, I was like, but I didn't try everything yet. Let's keep trying.
You just lose all the prestige in a moment also.
Oh no, the prestige and all of that, it was like I put it in the car. It was like the ego. It took a hit, as this is what I was sharing. I think it's also what we built all this life, and then we came here, and then I'm losing one by one by one by one. Talking about prestige, I remember the first, like, it's now today, it's ridiculous when saying it, but like selling my first, like, my first personal item, like jewelry and bags and watch, and for me it was like the failure. Like I failed. I failed everything. My family, I failed everything. I'm a failure, and it was hard. But then I started liking it. It was something super special. I started, feeling certain freedom, that those things are not defining me, and I'm like, I can be who I want. So it was 100%. So it was like all going together. I wouldn't say like, oh, that freedom, it's amazing, but no, in between there is tons of anxiety, panic attacks, and
it never crossed your mind to go back to Tunisia? You wanted to stay here? Never.
Wow. That was the fight a bit, because this is what, like, if I go back, it was like really that would be a failure for me. And it was like, we came here for a better future for the kids, for the better opportunities. And I was in a war with my ex-husband, and I told you, like in Tunis, I was arrested for kidnapping my own kids, so I didn't feel safe neither. Going back, it means like I'll be, I felt like I'll be like a prisoner forever. So
it was not an alternative.
No, it was not. Even though, like, even the people who like I loved the most and believed in me the most, at the end they were saying, "Oh, listen, it's okay. You can go back. It's fine." Like, you tried. Now maybe it's time to think you can go to Tunis. And really, as I told you, that moment also, when I was sitting on that floor, and I was like, oh my God, like I thought I preferred to disappear than unpacking my luggages and I'm going to Tunis. So that was also a moment of shift. Okay, I have nothing to lose. I have no ego. I have no social statute. I have nothing. What do I have to lose? Let's try. And believe me, I remember I was really trying also to see, okay, what can I get right now? Is like really being a housekeeper was really an option. Like I was really thinking of it concretely. It's not like I'm saying it as a joke,
No.
And yeah, I needed to find a job, like I did many things during the the studying, I started, I was a lawyer helping investors. So I started doing it here also in Barcelona, helping foreigners to get, the golden visa, invest in Barcelona, have the golden visa. And I started working a bit, and I was like, who finally, and I can start making my papers with that. And then COVID hits, and no more
Yes.
foreigner could come or invest or whatever.
Wow.
So that was the also what I'm gonna do now, seriously. And during the
Again,
COVID,
it's like,
yeah, exactly, that was the thing. And I started then doing my coaching certification during COVID. So okay, I'm sitting here blocked, and let's at least get something that I'm passionate about, and it's for me. I have the time right now. And yeah, so the day I started to look for a job, it was super funny because I was 40 years old. I've never ever wrote any resume. So I was the one recruiting. I told you I had
yes.
more than 130 employees. So I was recruiting, reading many of the resumes, but I was like, holy shit, how we do that?
Yeah, but so
I
it's so
was
hard to picture yourself in the opposite situation. Wow.
it's like for me it was also I would never work for someone. I
Mm.
had that thing also,
Yeah.
so it was for me also somehow a failure, like becoming again a prisoner, an employee. I had really this perception.
Yes.
And yeah, which today I'm working and I'm very proud of, like, really shifting this perception for many people, not only
Yes,
for
because you have
myself.
become the driving force of
Mm.
chess.com with your new coaching style of, empowering, encouraging leadership for especially for women. Could you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about how you revolutionized chess in that
Yeah,
sense?
sure. Actually, the story, how I got the job, actually, so I was looking, and I sent the resume to some friends, and two of them were like, please hold on, don't. I didn't even know what job I should ask for. I was ashamed when I was writing my resume, like a lawyer, an entrepreneur, an artist, and I was like, and a coach. What should like I was really ashamed of having this and not having, like, the successful career, linear, someone who did that and growing, like, growing the stairs of the one field, and that was a perception we had from, like, what's professional success is.
Yes,
And
coming from your country. I mean, you get conditioned by family
100%.
traditions and the whole society
100%.
there. Yeah.
Not only from my country, like, I'm noticing today, I'm coaching many people, many executives, and they like this linear thing, like, this is like what looks like success,
Mm.
maybe I don't know, you do, I don't know, one of the big four, and this is how we like seeing, the progression on your resume. It's changing 100%, but yeah, so I didn't know what to ask for. And I'm
No.
sharing this because if someone is listening and are living the same situation, it's so important. I wish that someone have told me that, at
Yeah.
that time. And so my two friends were like, holy, like, hold on, don't send your resume. I'm scaling my company. I need someone like you. I know you because they know me, and I know, like, we worked together before. And another friend who is here around, he's like, hey, one of our company is scaling, and I think it will be amazing if you bring support and building the leadership team, etc. So, and it was chess. At that time, it was like Chessable, one of the Play Magnus Group company, and I was like, chess and tech.
Wow.
What worst for a feminist? Nothing. you know the chess word and the tech word are the worst, and both combined for women, it's really, and I was like, I'm not sure, like, about the women thing. And he was at that time telling me, hey, exactly, we want to change that, and we don't know
Yes.
how. And I know you are the best person with how you're passionate about the topic and how you'll be a role model in bringing the change and shaping that change within our company. And
And
this is
let's
how the
just
journey
fleek into the
started.
listeners, that chess.com 800 employees globally, right?
Today, yeah, so 700. And at that time, it was Play Magnus. So we were acquired now by chess.com. But Play Magnus, from the start, we really did an amazing job also for women. And I established like the coaching, like, like I'm an ICF certified coach. So it's really the pure professional coaching.
Yeah.
And it became something like accessible for everyone. So any employee could reach out and have a coaching sessions. And my from the date I have, I don't have everything in mind now, but like the day I joined, we were like more or less 12% female in the leadership.
Okay.
And 16% workforce women. And the last before acquisition and of chess.com Play Magnus, we reached the 32% workforce and 30% in the leadership female. And the leadership piece of part, it's not recruitment, it's really pure coaching. So those
Wow.
are women we invested in, and with the coaching, they it unlocked really potential in many layers, actually, in the layer of how they see themselves and what they can dare to dream of, and
Yes.
and yeah, and many other, the imposter syndrome and all the topics you know very well
Yes, and
about
talking about the
coaching.
imposter syndrome, why do you think it's so much more frequent in women than in men? What differs? And what differs also the way you are coaching women and men today to
To be
redefining their
honest,
leadership and become successful?
to be honest, today, for example, in Chesscom, like, we have 25% of 27% of women, and almost the same in leadership. And yes, we say imposter syndrome is more present in women, for sure. One of the things I mentioned, I like mentioning when I do this exercise and I ask, what are your qualities? In general, there is still exceptions, of course, but in general, a man will give me a list of 10, easy.
Okay.
And with women, we will like on the third, we start having some struggles. So I call it
Oh,
the 10 to
really?
3 rule. It's
And
really
how
the
is
10
it
to
that men
3.
recognize their skills so much easier than women?
I think, it's the society. We talk about these topics like all over, but it's all like, it's what how your parents will see you. It's how your teacher will see you. Is what the government is seeing you. Is like, it's all that. It has been built from the start, since we are born. What are the expectations on you? What are the expectations on me? Are completely different. So it's coming from that. And even from the start, I was like a very big servant for women in their leadership. And today I would say I'm really a servant of humans, because I think
Nice.
the counterpart of that also, that men are suffering from other stuff, of not allowing themselves to be vulnerable, not allowing themselves to be emotional. And this harms them in their personal life, but also in their leadership.
Of
The big
course.
struggle is coming from there. So today it's really like, I don't really like doing the separation of like how coaching
No.
women or coaching men. It's really, connecting to the heart. And once we can do that, it unlocks so many things. It removes so many layers, the
Yes.
fears of how we see ourselves and how we see others and how we perceive things around us. So yeah, really, I talk a lot about like the leadership by the heart. And this is how, what is what we're establishing in Chesscom. And I have to say, like, the leadership, our leader, our CEO, and is very aligned with that. He is really the leader by the heart, because me by myself, I cannot establish nothing if the leadership is not aligned on that. It's, how it works. So there is an alignment on that sense, for sure. And this allows us to make things really differently from what we know of, like, I don't know, the corporate world or
Yes.
what's
No, but I understand this language very much. But there is so much, it's met with so much skepticism when you say leading by the heart. I understand what you mean, but there are many that wonder what you mean by the heart. I mean, we are so focused being up in our brain and
yeah.
with the thinking mind, and it's very much do and accumulate to become something. How would you say that leading by the heart differs?
Oh, it's totally different.
Yes.
It's totally different. When you are a leader, you're leading people. So to talk to people, you need the heart, you don't need the brain. If you are leading a project, you need your brain
Hmm.
and a touch of the heart, for sure. But when you are a leader, it's like, talking about managers, and managers, you have people who reports to them, like, to speak the language.
Mm.
But the role of a leader is to serve his team members. That's his role. That's being a leader. So for
Yes.
me, it's like you can unlock unbelievable potential and then reach performance and all the numbers that the brain think. But it
In the
starts,
long term. Mm.
of course, in the long term and even in the short term. You can see, like, I can give you an example right now. There's someone, like, not feeling, not really performing, etc., and having the right conversation with that person and being curious, really curious, not arriving with my own agenda. So for me, okay, leading by heart, I can give you a few bullet points. What does it mean? When
Yes.
when you're here, you arrive, you're not having your own agenda and expectations. Why this is, and you have your pressure, this is results, and you're looking for results. You arrive with the full heart and the full curiosity on asking the right question. What's happening? How are you? How do you feel? How can I help you? How can I support you? What do you like? What are you passionate about? What makes you anxious? All these things. It's really to be present and to get to know the person, so you will be able to serve them and
Mm.
make them, make them grow and really serve them. So really, our mentality a bit in the company, for example, just to tell you, is like the CEO is here to serve his leaders, the leaders are here to serve the team members, and the team members are here to serve our customers and users. That's how we
It's
see
really
the things.
clear. Yes.
It's about serving the others,
Mm. Being of service.
so
It's
yeah,
beautiful.
exactly,
Yeah.
it's not about numbers.
Yeah, but that is what I would call a real sustainable business with this
Yeah,
conscious
100%.
leadership. Yeah.
100%. We're celebrating our 20th year anniversary this year.
Wow.
So
But
sustainability, it's like one of the biggest goal we have. This is our mission, to stay, to be here, to grow the game, to grow the community, and being the happiest place to work for.
that is amazing. And by doing all this coaching inside your company, how do you measure its success?
It's to be honest, it's funny because this is like I'm working on that a bit more these days. In general, it's harder. It's a hard thing to measure, pure measures, but we're finding ways. Um, First, when you have a survey, I'm doing a survey every year. So, like, just to give you an idea, for example, like in 2023, I have provided like 489 coaching sessions.
Wow.
Yeah, this year, 2024, it's 415. And so, like, and mainly it's, I would say, there is like maybe, I don't know, big part of it is leadership, and there is also sometimes a performance, and it's really open to everyone who is interested. My calendar is open, and they can book a session with me without even asking my permission. So, and how we measure, you know you have a case, someone struggling with something,
Hmm.
we start coaching, and then you see the person is like just shining on that field, right, few months after. So it's pretty concrete, like you
Yeah.
see it, you know. And
But you're also looking for their superpowers. I remember from your talk that you're really looking for those hidden
super
gems. They're
important,
mad, yeah, they're hidden
super
magic
important,
to bring that
super
out.
important.
And that makes them, you allow them to be their authentic selves. I think
100%.
that is the formula, right?
It is the formula, I think, and I'm coaching our leaders to become these people. So this is what they're doing now with their team members. It's
Mm.
not even me. So I believe we are all talented and we all have a superpower. We just need to know which ones. Because often we focus on what we are not good at,
Mm.
and we stick there, and we try to improve, and we fight it, and we put so much energy on those things instead of like just sitting and seeing what are our superpowers and how we can really develop them
Yes.
and own them. And this, just doing that, just by doing that,
Can you
imagine the
share a success story?
self-confidence.
Sorry.
Yeah, of course, so
It would
many.
be, yeah, I bet you have many success stories.
So many, so many about, like, this, like, for example, for this one, I can give even like a very specific exercise. I ask my leaders to do it, and they do it for themselves, and they do it for their team, like really to trace 3 columns. And the first column is like to detect the things that you love to do, that you lose the notion of time,
Mm.
that every time you do, it's great. And often sometimes you have this people like, oh, well, that's amazing, and you're like, what? But that's normal,
Mm.
this. And you do it on a repetitive time, like this, good. So that's the first column. Middle column is like all the things like you're good at, it's okay, you do okay. And the third one are those things that brings you anxiety and on you struggle with. And I ask them to do that. And
Yeah.
here, okay, let's sit down. Superpowers, we see them. It's like, it's obvious. It's like, boom, screaming there. And when
Yeah,
you
maybe they
detect
don't
that,
realize that it's their
they don't.
superpowers because they take it
They
for
don't.
granted, right? Yeah.
They don't,
So you
because you
make
think
them
it's
see it.
normal.
Yeah.
100%, 100%. It's like this, bringing the light on your strength, on what you have special, how and help you own it.
Yeah.
That's a big shift in someone, like, instead of start talking about like, oh, I'm missing that, I'm not that good at this thing, and like the speech is like, I'm really good at that thing. This, it's not my thing. So when it's not your thing, delegate, give it to someone who is great on that first thing. So just for the anecdote, for example, we had at the time a VP who was like stepping out part-time, and we were wondering who will be taking over the other part. So I did the exercise with some of the team that we are adapting, like maybe this person, maybe this person, and we did that exercise. So the person who is stepping like out part-time, she hated all that things that the other person I did the exercise, it was in his, I love
Wow.
doing that. And okay, I was like, are you okay to share that with the, yes, of course, and sit down, like, just look at it. And they were looking at each other, okay, oh my God. And that's it. And it was obvious. We removed that. And at the end, she came back full time, because this part
Wow.
was making her so anxious that she was like feeling burning out, and all that things. And now, like, as simple as that, really ask. So my thing is really, did you ask them?
Mm.
Did you, like, when you feel someone is struggling, did you ask them this question first? Do you know what are their fields of strength and field of, like, really not their competence, let's say.
Yeah.
And you create a workforce who is having fun working. When you do what you love, it has no price. Today I think people are not like, more than the money, and the salary and the compensation, they're really looking for a job that they enjoy and they're in a mission that they are aligned. These, I think, are criteria that are even like on a higher level
Absolutely.
than
Yes.
compensation. So yeah, this is what, like, and this exercise now, my leaders, they are doing it for their team members, and it unlocks so many things. For
My
another
God,
example,
yes.
I can give you, like, an engineer manager who came to me for, like, coaching him in his leadership, and he was like, oh my God, I have a team of 8, only one is great. And oh, wow, what about the others? I'm like, they're slow, they're not performing as I would do. And I'm sure they're all the time playing video games. Like, wow, we are fully remote company. So,
Yes, of course.
okay.
Where
Okay,
was the
all playing
trust?
video games. Exactly. Everything is based on trust. And I was like, okay, did you ask them about what if they struggle, why they spend so much time? No. So you're just assuming things. Yeah, but we can see it, you know? So 3 months later, really 3 months later, that same manager is telling me, like, okay, now, I have so much an efficient team. I'm getting almost bored. I don't have nothing to do. They go fast. Oh, what about the video game? And we were laughing both. So what he learned in between, he did that exercise, the strength, the field of competence, and he started being aware of what project to give to this person and what project to give to that person. Start asking their opinion, what they want to work on, and this has changed everything. And
Wow.
he by being curious, that's love for me. That's why when I'm saying leading by the heart is like really being curious about the human in front of you, what make their heart sing,
Absolutely.
like as simple as that. And when you have that, wow, that's a superpower. And you
Yeah.
can accomplish miracles with that. You can accomplish, like, and the performance is way higher, and the mood, the environment, it's magical. It's really magical.
Yes, it's beautiful everything you are telling me here. And I really see that you would say probably say that this is the formula for how future work could
Oh
be
yeah.
done, no?
Oh yeah, 100%. We are fully remote, we are fully flexible, we are fully async. We are spread in 65 countries. So imagine all the time zones we have. And it's all about trust, and trusting the people who are around you, and empowering them and give them,
Hmm.
like, I trust you. I trust you will do your best. I trust you. You will give the best. And this, for example, me as a single mom that who went through many phases, and
Mm-hmm.
with kids with a different age, and they were young. I would probably never have reached that position if I didn't have the opportunity to be, like, with the flexible, with the async, with the,
Yes.
adapting my time. For us women raising kids, or not only women, like parents raising kids, I think it's a huge thing, that allow us to flourish and shine too. Because I
Yes.
can work like night, like that's my rhythm. There is no rule, but like I'm working on my project, and I'm probably working more than I should sometimes, but
But
I
maybe it
love it.
doesn't
And
feel like you're working all the
I
time.
love it. I love
Yeah.
it. It's like, when you wake up and you're doing like, hey, I have things to do. It's not like I have to work. It's like I
No.
have things to do that are driving me, from the heart, really. So yeah.
But I mean, this must really come from the top. It's so
Oh
important
yeah.
because there are
Oh
so
yeah.
many purpose driven companies out there that are not people centric.
100%.
So when I listen
It
to you,
makes
I
all the
really put the
difference.
two together, that you have a higher purpose, but you have to be human centric in your
Oh yeah,
leadership.
100%. 100%. It's one of our mission. I told you we have 3 points in our mission, is really like serving, growing the community, growing the game of chess, and being the happiest place to work for.
I love that you say the happiest place to work for, because we forget about happiness when we talk about job.
So
We
important.
we don't mention often that term. Are you happy
True.
at work? You know.
True, true. Even some companies, they have created chief happiness officer.
Yes.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have that in
you
chess
know,
too?
no, we don't have that, but it could be a bit my title somehow.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, happiness, it's about all these small things, actually, small things, small, the glimmers is like stopping and considering and appreciation and support, feeling supported has
Yes.
no,
Absolutely.
oh, it's so powerful, so powerful.
So you could say that you're breaking barriers for many women with this leadership style.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, 100%.
Mm.
We are, by breaking barriers, like talking about women, I know like the coaching is helping so much. I can give you a small anecdote, and I love sharing that story in my talks also. This I have her permission to share her story.
Yes.
She when I started coaching her, she was a tech lead of a team of 7 at that time, and she was like, first coaching session, and I was like, okay, what would be your goal? And she was like, to have a manager. That was like, okay, so one of your goal is like, we need to recruit a manager for our team. Okay. 2 weeks later, I'm coaching her on like a weekly basis. So 2 weeks later, it was our third coaching session, and she was like, Miriam, I have a problem. What is it? And she's like, they hired a manager, but I am the manager of my team, and I don't want him.
Oops.
Sincerely. So she was doing already the job,
Mm.
but
She didn't see
somehow the
it.
sticky floor or whatever you're talking about,
Mm.
she didn't see it. She didn't see herself being that manager, like, for her it's not, it cannot be me.
Yes.
So, and two coaching sessions, just like, I didn't do magic. I'm just asking few questions. What does it mean, a manager? What's his job? What he will do? What are you doing?
Yeah.
How
You.
this would be different from, and that was her aha moment.
And it changed everything.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm telling you, coaching is very powerful in that.
Very
It's
powerful.
really super powerful in that. And it shifts the mentality, it shifts the dynamic internally, it shifts completely the dynamic internally. and
Absolutely.
and yeah, so yeah, we're breaking barrier, but because I think in the tech world it's even more complicated for women.
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, we're doing a pretty good job in recruitment too, to be honest. And
For gender
we are
bias and everything.
very, yeah, exactly. We are so, like, one of the things I'm super proud of, like, belonging in our company, is like, we are really from 65 countries, like, in terms of diversity, and the different, like, the ages also we have, like, in terms of diversity, we are like just amazing. And this brings so much richness in how, like, we tackle things in innovation and in our perspective of things, like, I'm an Arab woman coming from North Africa, Tunisia, working now for an American company where we are, like, doing that job. I'm bringing my perspective. I'm bringing my history with me, my traumas, and all the things I want to work on,
Mm.
and contributing to the world, to it.
Absolutely. And living in Barcelona with two
And living in
daughters.
Barcelona with my two daughters, my two dogs, and we have an office here, which is very close by, and I go often. Also, I like being with my team, but we are just like maybe 30ish people here,
Yes.
so yeah, and yeah, so yeah, really. I am really proud of the work we are doing. I hope
You
we
should
will be
be.
leading by example for other people, because and workplaces, like I see a
Absolutely.
shift, and you know, it's not that complicated. It's really not. I know it could be scary. It's, you know, changing mentalities is scary.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yes.
out. It makes us
Changing
out
in
of our.
general is scary for
Yeah,
people.
exactly, exactly, exactly. It's always like, you know, it's hard. It's But it's the only constant today. You know, I think really one of the things that I always mention to our leadership team is like the the most important skill today is really to learn how to live happily with all
Hmm.
the uncertainties, as simple as
Yes.
that, you know. And yeah, this is how we build resilience.
Yes, and to build resilience, the biggest shift you have to do is to go inward.
Oh yeah, 100%. So leading by the heart also in the coaching, what was a lot working on that. You know, a leader, we are triggered. As leaders, we are triggered sometimes, you
Of
know. It's
course.
like, and that's where probably mistakes will happen and ego will show up, and
Yes.
we do like, this is where mistakes are happening, you know. So really one of the things like I'm trying to establish is like, when when you feel triggered, sit down, sit with it. What's the emotion? I'm using this app, which is amazing, you know, like, and
All
many of my.
recommendations are welcome.
Yes. So it's called How We Feel. It's really amazing. And I removed from our language like I feel bad or I feel good. It's like
Hmm.
really put a word on the how you feel, like bringing this awareness and this consciousness. So when a leader is triggered, it's important to sit down to know what triggers me. What is it about? What is it about my story that is making me feel that way? You know, bringing this humility and this compassion towards ourselves.
Yeah.
And this brings a huge shift on our decision making. So we don't take decisions based on emotions. Emotions are here to tell us messages, you know, and it's
Yeah.
important to sit down, hear them, and then take the
And
right
reflect
decision.
on them before
Of
reacting.
course, of course, of course.
Because when it's getting tough economically in companies, how do you bridge them back to the heart in those moments? That is when it gets
Super
really
hard.
tricky, right? Yeah.
It's super hard. It's super hard. That's why really like establishing those kind of reflex of like,
Mm.
okay, I know this is happening. I acknowledge that I feel this way, and how I'm gonna react by knowing that. You know, one of the very strong thing I'm building with my team, uh, with the people I'm coaching, like I ask them to create their toolbox of resilience.
Okay.
What I have, like I have mine always on me, on my top notes, my values, and my my toolbox. What makes me feel okay? If I'm a bit down, what are the things that will, you know, give me that? So I have a full list: walking, going, getting sun, talking to that specific
Mm.
person, a hug with my kids, with my workout, of course, you know, a full list, from also like just a candle and an incense or whatever would make me feel good, but a full list of things. So when I'm not sit down, pull that list. What are the things I can start doing that will help me go put up a bit my energy, and not being, you know, so really
That
bringing awareness.
is a great takeaway, Miriam. What are
Mm.
the three top things on that list for you?
Of my three top, like for sure my workout, the day I don't work out, or it's like, it's definitely not the same. So my morning rituals really is like gratitude journal. I scan my 24 previous hours. What are
Mm.
the few things that, you know, I'm grateful for? Like, you know, just like a smile. This morning I was writing it. A smile I had from someone I crossed in the street that I don't even know. So gratitude journal, meditate, even 1 minute. Like, you know, this morning I was like, I wasn't feeling like it. I just, okay, just even 1 minute, and
Yes, it counts.
work out. It counts. Work out, and then small walk in the park, seeing green, and having a few minutes of sun in the morning. That's
Yes.
my really, like, when I wake up, I'm here. I do that. I'm here. Then the day will hit, and I go back down. But I'm on a good level. So
Yes.
when I don't do that, when it hits, it hits.
Oh, it makes a big difference if you set the intention, right?
Yeah, always, in
And
everything,
you
in
that you live an
everything,
intentional life,
everything,
because
in
we actually
everything.
choose everything, and
Oh yeah,
sometimes we forget about it, that we are choosing.
oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Life is happening, and things are happening,
Mm,
and we choose where to be and what to
yes.
do. In every single second, we're
Now, this
choosing.
was great takeaways that you just gave us. I was going to ask you, what would you say to women in your kind of situation that you were when everything that was an earthquake? What would you like, from heart to the women out there? Your recommendations that they could do to bring them back to
Trust,
the present moment?
trust,
Yeah.
trust. Really, I have something I share with a lot of people. Like, a baby will end up always walking. They
Yeah.
all end up walking, all of them. Some at 8 months, some at 1 year, some at 15 months. But everybody, at the end, we walk. So really trust, support system, like surround yourself with people they love you, who are here present, because it makes a big difference. Super important. And you will get there. If it's happening, if you want something, I feel like, I guarantee you, it means it's yours. What separates us, it's fear, and that's it. Like, work for it, trust. We fall down, it's fine, we stand up again. And here, look at me today. Like, for me, it's really a miracle. Like, I'm living the life I didn't even dream of before, being aligned with my values, making, like, making, doing what makes me happy.
Yeah.
So really trust. And if you're going through hard time, good for you. That's amazing, because it means you're growing.
Yes.
You're getting to where you need to be. And finally, if you don't do it proactively, the universe will send you whatever to shake you a bit.
Yes.
But they will know, like, I'm a strong believer that the universe will never send you what you cannot handle. That's a
Yeah.
big belief.
I have the same. I share that belief.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
thank
the
you,
story
Miriam,
of
for
entrepreneur,
yeah, no.
definition.
Yes. Well, thank you, Miriam, for all this amazing work that you have been doing until now and are doing. And I'm just, you are such an inspiring role model for many of
Thank
us women
you.
out there. Yeah. And
Thank you
these
so much,
stories
Jessica.
needs to be shared. So I'm so glad you want to share your story. And
Thank you.
you wrapped it up with a beautiful metaphor that the kids end up walking eventually.
Always,
And we
always.
always do that in life as well, don't
Yeah,
we?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, 100%.
So
Thank you
thank you
so
from the
much for
heart.
having me.
Thank you
I
from
really
the heart.
appreciate you and appreciate all what you're doing. I'm a big fan. And
Yeah,
I feel honored to be here with you today.
it's regenerative. That is the nice energy that
Oh,
keeps
yeah.
flowing. Yeah.
Always.
So thank you all the listeners for listening to Miriam and her story. And I'll see you soon. Be well.